Hey y'all, I'm back, and so are the Dougherty Dozen. They have returned from the vacation that was actually a collab, that was actually an ad. You know, the one where they pulled the kids out of school because it just couldn't wait till they're actually on break, which is apparently this week. And despite school being out, Lushy is still packing school lunches for some reason. Now, before you say this is old footage, this is actually on her menu for lunch today, 2/19, the day that this short was published.
What my 11 kids got in their lunch today. Their entree is cheese quesadillas.
More hot food for the cold lunch. I know she claims up and down that the schools let the kids heat up lunches. I don't believe that for a minute. Can you imagine the chaos and the liability in that kind of situation? The amount of supervision, the amount of time the lunch period would have to take if multiple children had things to be warmed up. No, I don't buy it. I don't know why anyone would buy it. I have never in my life of going to multiple schools, of sending children of my own to multiple schools, of talking with parents all across the country, friends that I have that live in other states, other districts, whose kids go to private schools, public schools, all kinds of schools. Never have I heard of such a thing. Listen, if your kid goes to a school where they can heat up their lunches, please leave me a comment and tell me about that, and tell me what that's like. You know, what kind of school do they go to that happens? What's the process like? Because again, I have never in 45 years on earth heard of such a thing. And once again, the same portions, regardless of age. Always with these lunches, they're identical unless it's completely ridiculous, like they're each getting their 11 individual sandwiches. Most of the time, the lunches are identical portion-wise. Even when it's sandwich day and they get to pick what kind of sandwich they want, it's still the same size sandwiches, the same size sides. Every kid gets the same thing, which, knowing how kids of different ages eat, I guarantee you, those oldest children are still hungry once that's gone, and those youngest children are throwing food away.
With shredded chicken and peppers.
Even if they can heat it up, that's sat how long now waiting
corn.
for lunchtime? Canned corn straight out of the can. Except for this one kid who didn't get corn down there in the dark blue container. So I'm guessing whichever child that was just doesn't get a veggie side at all because they didn't want the canned corn.
Then I added those to their lunch boxes in age order.
Yeah, so if they're not in school, why are they going in the lunch boxes? And again, before you say filmed ahead or old footage, from a different day where they were in school, why does the lunch match up with the lunch on the menu? So this just leads me to ask, is she faking the menu? Or is she faking school lunches for content? I am honestly starting to think that she is faking a lot of the packed lunches just for content because they don't make sense. The portions across the board don't make sense. The contents themselves rarely make sense for a school lunch. I don't know. I can't prove it, obviously, but it's a theory that I am increasingly buying into. So speaking of the menu, we are actually going to take a look at the ravioli bake. She posted this not long after they got back from the vacay. This was, I believe, Sunday evening's dinner, and then the leftovers are lunch for Monday. So this is from just a little bit ago. We're going to watch her make ravioli in the crock pot that's actually a roaster.
It's Alicia with the Dougherty Dozen, and welcome to Tuesday tutorial. Today we are making ravioli bake for my family of 13. But first, coffee. I've made this before, but it's just worth resharing because it's really easy and really good, and I love a good, hearty, comfort foodie, simple recipe for our large family. This recipe is from Farm Wife Cooks. I'll link it in the comments below. You just need ground meat of your choice, frozen ravioli, diced tomatoes, spaghetti sauce of your choice, and some cheese and seasonings. I'm doing a little bit of onion. I'm not doing the full amount just because my kids don't like the full amount of onion. But if I can slip in a little bit of onion for the flavoring, they don't know it's in there. We are quadrupling her recipe. I'm hoping to have enough leftovers to pack for lunches tomorrow. So let's go. I'm going to cook 4 pounds of this 6 pounds.
Again, with the pack for lunch, not serve for lunch. If they're not in school, why are you packing it? I don't know.
Pound ground beef. Then we're gonna add in our onion and garlic and assemble it all lasagna style, sort of, in the slow cooker. Let's go. You're gonna want a pot, not a pan, because you're gonna end up adding all your sauces into this. And if you start with a pan, it's not gonna be big enough. I've made that mistake.
She's cooking in her sock feet. That terrifies me. I don't know. Maybe it's just having cooked in commercial kitchens before, but that is absolutely terrifying. I've also burned my feet by things spilling over and dripping or splattering before being dropped on. So, no, that makes me so uncomfortable. As usual, don't edit out the however long this footage is of you just silently cooking meat.
Side note, my large burner is working again. Thank you for the suggestions to put in the canning element. Unfortunately, the style stove we have couldn't do that. However, the repairman gave me really good advice. He said that, because we're always cooking these giant pots of water, right, to make pasta and stuff for our kids, and we always have the burner on high, it's getting essentially burned out. The burner is getting burned out. So his recommendation was to...
I mean, if you're cooking like that, you should honestly look into a commercial stove. If that's the level you're cooking on, where your pans of water for pasta are so heavy and you're having to crank that burner up so high that it's burning them out, just get an industrial stove. They make small ones that really are not that much bigger dimension wise than a home stove, but they can actually handle the task you're asking of it.
Instead of always having it on high, have it...
Oh wait, she spent all of her money on sugar at Wegmans and Walmart, so they can't do that.
Slightly lower than high, so that it's not always on full blast. It's getting the chance to go up and down. Does that make sense? Anyways,
did she just now learn that you don't have to have it all the way on high to necessarily boil? I mean, it'll take a little bit longer, but I promise you medium high will get you there eventually.
I'm telling you this in case anybody else has this problem that we have, where once a year our burner breaks because we use it too much. But it is working again. All is right in the world. Well, at least in our house. I don't know about the world. Okay. Meanwhile, let's get our slow cooker ready. It's right there. I have a food safe foil liner. I will link this right in this video. We are gonna put a little bit of our sauce on the bottom just to cover the bottom of our crock pot, slow cooker, oven roaster, whatever you want to call it.
I guess at least it's not Pam this time.
Okay.
That actually makes sense.
And
I'm sure that was in the recipe instructions and not her actual idea.
butter. There's butter in my hair.
There's butter in her hair. Announce that. Don't edit it out.
Welcome to my house. Okay.
I guess she thinks that makes her relatable. I'm sorry. I cannot relate to you.
It would be a
hair butter or
normal
no?
size bag of ravioli. I have 2 family-sized bags of ravioli. We're gonna put 1 bag down in the slow cooker.
Oh, they're frozen. Okay. I mean, that's fine, but
Let's finish our
You don't
meat
want to thaw
sauce,
them
and
out
then I'm
first.
gonna pour that on.
When frozen food defrosts, there's moisture that comes off. That's going right into your sauce unless you thaw those first or cook them first. But whatever, you do you, Lush.
Drained off some of the grease. Let's cook up the onion.
Did she drain off the grease really? I wonder, because we didn't see it this time. I've seen her drain the grease into the kitchen sink before. I've also seen her not drain it. So I wonder, what's up with that. I feel like she's heard the folks out here who say, oh, she never drains it, or oh, she poured the grease into the sink. So now she's just not going to show whether or not she did. She's just going to say, I drained it, I promise.
I did one big onion.
So for a minute, I was briefly fascinated with this tool. And then somebody told me, oh, they have those everywhere. Somebody else told me it's from Temu. I don't know. I've never seen them in the wild. However, I just started using my potato masher like that. And honestly, it works really well. And it's not a one-trick pony. So there you go. If you're fascinated with this tool like me, just start using your potato masher like this. It totally works.
Garlic.
Oh, not the garlic. Listen, I know life's hard out there and we're busy and sometimes you just need things to be convenient. But I promise you, whoever you are out here using this, you are worth more than garlic.
It's translucent, so we're gonna add in the diced tomatoes.
Does that look translucent to anyone? I'm still seeing giant white onion squares, but sure, whatever. Let's move along.
Simplify life. Oh, Costco. These are from Costco. This is probably my favorite brand of tomato products. I forgot the seasonings.
Does it really matter?
Okay, salt and pepper to taste.
Okay. That was certainly an amount of salt.
And a teaspoon of Italian.
I mean, that might have been an appropriate amount of salt if we were just seasoning something that didn't have any canned goods, but canned tomatoes already are salty.
Seasoning. I usually do a little bit more. A lot more. Okay, now we're gonna let it simmer for 5 minutes.
Oh, this is the worst ASMR ever.
That simmered for 5 minutes. Now we're gonna add the sauce and simmer for 5 more minutes.
Anyone else think that doesn't look drained?
All right, our basic meat sauce is done. Now we're gonna layer it. You don't need to put mozz right here because there's cheese in the ravioli. We're gonna put half of our sauce over that bag of ravioli we put down.
piping hot sauce on top of frozen ravioli. I can't wait to see the cooking instructions on this.
Cover it up.
Again, that ravioli is going to defrost and all that moisture is going right into the sauce.
Okay. I'm also making lunch for the kids right now too. And then our second bag of ravioli.
Yep, frozen solid, so all that frost right into the sauce.
And the rest of our sauce.
And our piping hot sauce right on top. I'm really concerned about the sauce to ravioli ratio here. This seems like sauce soup with some ravioli in it now. That was a lot of sauce for 2 bags.
Oh my gosh, I can't talk today. She tops it with her cheese right here, but when I do that, the cheese kind of gets that burned look, and I don't like the look of it. So I wait to put the cheese on towards the end, but you do what you feel like doing. We're gonna let this cook for 4 to 5 hours.
You're cooking pasta, I don't care how low it is. You're cooking pasta for, I don't care if it's frozen. You're cooking pasta for 4 to 5 hours?
All right, I'm gonna put it at 300. Garlic bread cooking.
Why would you not just do this in a big casserole in the oven? It would be done quicker. It would probably be better. I don't know. Is anyone else just really confused by frozen pasta, piping hot sauce, and then going in the roaster for 4 to 5 hours? Because I cannot even fathom how this is going to turn out. It's covered. So, you know, you're not going to lose a lot of moisture, I wouldn't think. But you're also going to have the extra moisture from that ravioli defrosting. So I feel like this has the potential to get really soupy, but then it's in there for 4 to 5 hours. So at what point does the now thawed ravioli pasta start reabsorbing all that liquid? Like, I'm so confused by this dish. I kind of want to see it come out of the pan, but also I don't.
Some salad and see if this is ready to put the cheese on top. It smells done, but I just want to check one of the raviolis. Oh yeah, it's done. Okay, let's put the cheese on top, let that get melted, and cook up the garlic bread.
Okay, she's getting ready to make the garlic bread. So presumably this is pretty much about to be eaten in the next, 15, 20 minutes or so. Assuming that they get to eat it while the bread is still fresh out of the oven. Because if you look at the clock here, it's about 20 minutes till 4, which seems really early. So either they're eating at like senior citizen early bird special hours and before, or Lushy forgot to change the clock back. What do you mean, Moonbeam, by change the clock back? Well, it has been suggested by some that she changes her clock so that her morning routines will look like they start earlier than they do. There is an instance where Josh can be heard in the background of one of her morning routines saying, oh, it's around 6:30 or so, but the clock shows about 5:30 or so, about an hour or so earlier than what he's saying the time is. Now, that could be one of those time change days or something, but it seems like she may be messing with the clock and she forgot to put it back. Now, sunset on the East Coast area is a little before 6 right now, so it's kind of hard to tell. I don't know. I just can't help but suspect that something could be up and that clock-changing conspiracy theory is true.
Random lammy in this thing. Alright, you're just going to top it with some nuts or whatever cheese you like. I just used this for lunch. I'm just reusing it. Oh, that's disgusting. Oh.
You didn't have to share that.
What's up, doggies? Why'd you come running? It sounds like I dropped something. Back in about 5 minutes.
Just put it in just like that. Okay, don't space them out evenly.
Okay, and it is.
You know, there's a reason when you bake, even just a frozen thing like that, that you sort of place things methodically and evenly spaced so that the heat gets around all edges, so you don't have weird little soft spots or undercooked spots where things are touching where they shouldn't touch.
It's done. Got the salad and garlic bread to go with it. All right, we are down 2 kids. Alex and Deshawn aren't here right now. So even with the 9 kids, we ate about half of it. I'm going to take the other half and pack it for their lunches tomorrow. But thank you for spending time with me today. You are strong, you are beautiful, you are loved, you belong, and I'm so proud of you.
Well, thanks for the affirmations, Lushy. Of course, she's not going to show us the food plated because, like I said, it's either ravioli soup or that pasta has soaked up so much liquid over the course of the last 4 to 5 hours that it's sludge. Yay. Well, I've lost my appetite. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.